We're here.
Hey, this is Raven, and thanks for listening to the Gimme A Hull Yeah wrestling podcast. Quote the Raven, nevermore.
Cheers, Raven. We don't use that one enough, do we? Yeah, we've gone live a little bit early tonight because I've had my Monster Energy drink and it's time to kind of get started before I start flagging and yawning. So, yeah, hi. What a mad week it's been. So let's just quickly address some of these comments because we've already got some people in. Who have we got? Mark, our moderator, is in first. Mark says, SmackDown roster, I suggest you. Hang on, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. Rum. There you go. Yeah, when they went back to Gorilla, blue lights at the roof started flashing. John G is in. He says, hi, Mark. Hey, Shane. Is that me? Shane McMahon. I think he's going to Jacksonville, isn't he? Word is, apparently. I doubt it. We'll see. I just think it'd be a stupid idea. But anyway. Oh my God, I effing love Raven. Yeah. So do we. We're big fans of the leader of the flock. Come join the murder. Okay. How are you doing tonight, Mark? Currently on the Isle of Wight Festival. Oh my God, I'm so jealous. I love the Isle of Wight. It's some of my wife wants to go on holiday, actually. I've been a million times, but she's never been. Would you believe? Yeah, I want to go on a mission to the New Forest. I'd love to buy a camper van and go around the New Forest and places like that and do a stop off at the Isle of Wight. I've been a million times. I know it well. But anyway, I digress. I'm just jealous of Fox. That does sound like a good session. Obviously, our Dynamite presenter, Anthony, was at Download this week. So he's had a great time too. Mark saying he's good. So, right, let's talk about tonight and Raw. For starters, what happened on Raw? Wyatt Sicks turned up. We knew they were coming, but my God, I'm a fan of all that stuff, and I didn't think it would be that good. That the visuals of it were just spectacular. I don't know if you watched earlier tonight. We had a Friday night stream that we often do with Wrestling Royalty. It was me, Andy, and Dom, and we were chatting about, will they do anything Wyatt Sicks related tonight? I'm of the view that they sort of have to. It's not going to be as big as it was the other night. They're not going to have the entire roster being laid out backstage and beaten up and seemingly dead, which obviously none of them are in real life and none of them are in kayfabe. It's just, how do you make a stable make an impact? You do that. But so you've got to then, going to SmackDown to the second show, it's like, right, what do we do? Do we just do a bit of a recap what happened on Raw and then do the rest of the show? Or do we because I think SmackDown are going to have security beefed up. They're going to make a big play of it. They're like, look what happened on Raw on Monday. We can't allow that to happen to us. And inevitably, something will happen to them. We don't know 100% what. Again, I don't think it'll be as big as what happened on Raw. It might be something more subtle, something more devious. But I am of the view that the Wyatt Sicks need to make their presence felt on SmackDown as well. Because if you are some murderous cult, some insurgency attacking WWE from within and everybody who's wronged you within them, are you going to stick to the brand split? It's like okay, we're going to annihilate everyone backstage. But guys, look, appearing on the blue brand is just going too far. So, yeah, I think they're doing something. And word is from Twitter that in kayfabe, obviously, Nick Aldis has beefed up security, because that always does so much in wrestling. But yeah, what did everybody think of the introduction of the Wyatt Sicks? I personally was blown away by it. It was all I wanted it to be. Obviously, there's a lot of concern out there as to where does it go from here. But I'm trusting them so far. I'm trusting Triple H. I'm trusting the process and various other things. So So let's see what happens. I'm quite excited to see where they go. Let's just catch up with some of these comments. Fox says, just in the Pretenders play. Oh, see, I thought you meant the Proclaimers for a moment. Then I was going to say, I will walk 5,000 miles to watch them play. But I'm showing my age there, Fox. Yeah, I think Shane McMahon has been going to RVD parties if he thinks he can go to AEW. Well, look, word is they have, Tony Khan and Shane have been talking. And as a guy who's, again, I've not partied with RVD, but I have spoken to people who have. And yeah, they've told me it is intense, and RVD knows what he's doing. But yeah, look, I think it'd be a big mistake if they did that. I don't think Shane McMahon is needed in AEW. I don't really think he's needed in WWE anymore either. And like I'm saying about the guy, my favorite McMahon, and the McMahon who is famously considered the nicest and the nice McMahon. So a lot of time, a lot of love for Shane McMahon, but I don't think we need him in any, other than perhaps a backstage role. Do we really? I don't know. Do you know what happened in WrestleMania 39? That just underlined it all for me. That, you know what I mean? That anyway. But enough about Shane. Well, it was all extras and Mr. Gable. Crowd loved it. See, I don't know. Didn't we see Gunther in there and a few others? I could have sworn we spotted a few other guys in there. I could have sworn there was an article breaking it all down. But again, I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. But I was of the view that there were quite a few wrestlers laid out. But obviously Gable was the one we saw most prominently. And there'll be a reason for that. Like we already expect within the lore of this thing that the reason for that is the Wyatt Sicks are taking out people who have betrayed their families or words to that. Ideas to that. So that's interesting. And I think there's a lot they can do with that as well. So they're not just targeting and beating up anyone. They're going after people who they believe have got some cosmic justice coming. We'll see. We'll see how well they can do that. But because I've got some thoughts on this Wyatt Sicks stuff. My first thought is, I think everybody who's, for want of a better word, crapping all over it, guys. I mean, give it a chance. It might be god awful. It might end up being god awful, and you might be right. But it also might end up being brilliant. So again, Vince McMahon isn't there. Triple H is running the thing, and he hasn't made many missteps so far. Triple H has won my goodwill, and he's also won my faith. So I actually have, like, WWE. I'm really enjoying WWE at the moment. I think back to like 2018 and pre-pandemic and stuff like that, and there was a lot I didn't like, and I was getting through Raw every week was an ordeal, where it's not now. Like and same with SmackDown. There's a lot to love. There's a lot of great stuff going on. This is the same promotion with the Bloodline stuff is happening, the Judgment Day stuff is happening, the McIntyre and Punk is happening, the Wyatt Sicks is happening. This is all happening at the same time. It's just mad to think about. So, yeah, I think TNA and AEW are doing great right now as well. So it's a great time to be a fan. But WWE for me at the moment is the best it's ever been, and I don't see why this would fail. If they've done their homework, they know what they're doing, and they're doing it the right way. Because, there were missteps with Bray. There were missteps. Like, I think we're all so used to being let down with things like, do you remember, what the hell were they called? We were laughing at them earlier. Was it Retribution? Was that the name of the stable? Where they had all the weirdos in the gimpy masks, and even the wrestlers themselves have disowned it ever since then. It wasn't their fault. They were told to do it. But, yeah, like that. I don't think this is going to be that at all. I've got high hopes for this, but at the same time, it doesn't need to be perfect. You know what I mean? I don't need Retribution. Oh, Absolution was Paige's stable, wasn't it? Yeah, I don't need this to be the greatest thing ever. Like, you've got to temper your expectations. This is a wrestling show. Like this. I've said it before, this isn't going to get you that promotion. It's not going to resolve your aching back. It's not gonna, make the person you fancy turn around and notice you. It's just entertainment on a wrestling show. But at the same time, people need to stop being like, oh, it's going to besmirch Bray's legacy and things like that. No, it isn't. This is being put together by people who understand Bray's legacy better than any of us. So his brother, Ruckus, Triple H, all these guys, they know what they're doing. And if I turn out to be right or wrong, I'll admit it. But I don't think I'm going to be. It's not going to be perfect. There are going to be missteps. It's going to falter. But there's also probably going to be some awesome stuff to look forward to too. And CM Punk is on SmackDown. So this is a weird one because Punk's on SmackDown. So they're going to have to acknowledge what happened on Monday night soon enough. They can't just ignore it. Obviously, Punk is the big attraction tonight. They can't just ignore what happened with the Wyatt Sicks, though. It's got to feed in somewhere. But obviously, they're giving Punk his moment first. Because if they just did SmackDown without acknowledging what happened on Raw, that's very bizarre, isn't it? But we'll see. What does everybody think? What do you want to see? Observing stuff is in. Hello, mate. Mark saying, yeah, because the attack Chad Gable is out of Money in the Bank qualifier next week. Dragunov replaces him. Right. So, because we were talking about why Chad, and I think this is great. It's great storytelling with the Chad Gable thing because now Chad might be in hospital, broken heart, in pain. Oh, look at that lad. Oh, I bet that made his day. But yeah. So, there's all these things. So now Chad can be like, my family, the Alpha Academy walked out on me and I got attacked by these thugs backstage. Where were you? And, and now the Stockholm Syndrome sets in even more. They start feeling guilty. They all come back into the fold, not realizing, he's a narcissist, he's a toxic character, all of this. So it's really smart because some people are like, oh, well, they've abandoned all their storylines now with this Wyatt Sicks stuff. No, they haven't. They've just sent them down a new avenue. They've enhanced them. That's all they've done. Careful, Punk. This chap needs to treat himself like he's made of glass. I'm not being funny, Punk. Do not get injured. You've got things to do at SummerSlam, mate. So please don't get injured or get into any backstage fights. Okay. Yeah, Retribution. Yeah, my God, they were god-awful, weren't they? I won't be surprised if Drew shows up. Yeah. So me, Dom, and Andy were thinking, what if Drew just absolutely lays out Punk? It's really, really hard with everything on this show to not connect it to the Wyatt Sicks in some way because of how jaw-dropping what happened on Raw was. I'm amazed we haven't already seen some kind of package for it. But obviously, Punk's a massive star, and we've got to do it a certain way. I bet they had some plans with Bray before he passed that we'll use. You know what, observing stuff? We were discussing this earlier tonight. So I'll just... Here's what I think they were going to do. Again, I've got no proof, but my view is they were going to... And I know, look, I'm going to be yakking on while Punk's talking, but, that's what you call me for. It's not my face, for sure. I'm of the view that they were going to have Howdy antagonize Bray more and more and more, try to get him to bring back the Fiend, get the Fiend to come out of it. Because that was, let's not forget, that was Howdy's agenda. Howdy's agenda was to try and get Bray to bring back him, the Fiend. And Bray didn't want to do it. So I think eventually Howdy was probably going to introduce the Wyatt Sicks, cause a lot of trouble, and Bray was going to have to try and resolve it and take him out. Now, Bray was probably going to do that as Bray. But eventually things would probably get more and more hardcore, more creepy, more dodgy. Bray would need to go to a dark place to take down Howdy, who may or may not have been revealed as Bo Dallas by that point. And I think it was leading to Uncle Howdy versus The Fiend at WrestleMania, which would have been completely ridiculous. But my God, what great TV. So it wouldn't need to be a 5-star. It wouldn't need to be Naito versus Ibushi, Okada versus Omega. It just would need to be a fun spectacle, because WrestleMania is a variety show. There are different levels of wrestling and styles and types of entertainment on that show. So I do believe that would be a moment where Wyatt triumphed over Howdy and basically shed his Fiend persona after that. Maybe not forever, but beat Howdy definitively, became a top babyface, and was like, do you know what? I don't need the Fiend. I'm Bray Wyatt. And whoever's holding the championship after the main event tomorrow night or tonight, I'm coming for you. I think that's what they needed to do. Now, wherever you go with the Wyatt Sicks and Howdy from there, there's a million options. But obviously, we don't have Bray anymore. Bray is no longer with us, and it absolutely sucks. But good on WWE, good on Bo, good on everybody else for doing what they can to carry it on. And so far, so good. Like, I don't know where they take this story. Like, I think I love the idea that they've antagonized a lot of heels and a lot of baby faces. Maybe Judgment Day and the Bloodline have now got the Wyatt Sicks in their crosshairs. Do we see some friends become enemies, some enemies become friends? I'm very curious to see how this shakes up the whole company and shakes up all of creative. It can't bleed into everything, but it does need to bleed into quite a bit. And I think that's going to be it's good storytelling when one thing affects something else, that affects something else, that affects something else. Because for years, we got so conditioned to WWE's, that guy's feuding with that guy, that guy's feuding with that guy, where Triple H does this multi-leveled feuding where you can be feuding with multiple people at once. And a feud might not because you hate somebody. You might hate that one guy, but that other guy is just the guy you can't shake, you can't beat. Like McIntyre and Seth got really under each other's skin, but at WrestleMania, they squashed that beef. Seth, acknowledged Drew after the match and was almost like, yeah, it's your time. It was only then Drew who messed things up by antagonizing Punk, and then we have Drew now feuding with Punk, and I think his feud with Priest is probably over, definitively won by Priest because of Punk. So that's what I mean. All this multi-level storytelling, it's so smart, it's so clever, and I think it's going to inject something into WWE. Not that it necessarily needed, but that will enhance it. Oh, Punk, look out! There might be a 7-foot Scotsman behind you at some point. Come on, SmackDown. You can't me and Dom were disagreed about this. See, Dom was under Dom was of the view that the Wyatt Sicks are going to be a Raw thing, and they'll recap it on SmackDown, but then not do anything else. Where I'm of the view, they need to do something significant. Doesn't need oh bloody hell, Heyman's here. Doesn't need to be something as big as Monday night, but they need to make their presence felt. Because they can't just have their roster, their entire backstage area taken out and then forget about it 4 days later. No, you can't do that. Are they an insurgency threatening the very soul of WWE? Or are they just an annoyance that appears on a Monday night? Come on. We'll see. And I'm sorry for my squeaky chair, as always. Right. Let's look at some of these comments because I know I'm behind. Sorry, guys. Michael's in with his Miplet persona. How are we doing? I don't care what Punk has to say. Hey, see, look, there's a lot of confusion on this channel about my views about Punk, which have been controversial. I'm going to say it again because it's something a lot of people still don't get. It's like I'm a massive CM Punk fan. I was a huge and there's almost this idea that if you were a CM Punk fan before he was in WWE, then that doesn't count. And that's just utter horseshit. Sorry. No. Some of us were huge CM Punk fans before he even set foot in WWE. I was a big CM Punk fan when he was in Ring of Honor. I love Ring of Honor. I always have. And Punk is a huge part of that and why I'm so in love with Ring of Honor. Now, when he went to WWE, it was a dream come true. This indie darling that we've all loved for so long has gone to the big place. And let's be honest, it was great, wasn't it? Almost everything he did was ace. I loved it. I just felt let down by some of the actions later, which we're not going to relitigate. But I do want people to know that I am a CM Punk fan. I harbour a lot of anger. I feel very, very let down by things he's done and what other people have done. But I'm a huge Punk fan, and I just want to make that clear. I don't think I'd want to go for a drink with him anytime soon, but I tell you what, I'll watch him on TV happily, and I'll watch his matches on pay-per-view happily. It's just that, really. Like AJ Styles is another, like, I'm a huge AJ Styles fan. You won't believe how many t-shirts I have. Politically, we're completely not even in the same library, never mind the same page. But that doesn't stop me thinking AJ Styles is one of the greatest wrestlers to ever live, to ever lace it up. I'm fascinated by everything he does. I don't think he's a bad person by any stretch. I don't think CM Punk is a bad person either. I actually don't. But yeah, there you go. That's just my view. Let's get back to these comments. So Michael saying, "How are you?" Norma, I guess the reason Otis never thumped, great word, such an English word, that Norma, thumped, is because Chad is his Monday Night Murder had his Monday Night Murder coming. Yeah, agreed. And it's really cool who left the building before all that happened. So people like, obviously Uso was in the crowd, so he was safe. Alpha Academy had left. Drew McIntyre had left. Everybody else were lambs to the slaughter. I think the sixth character was the new Fiend. See, I have to disagree with that, Mark, respectfully, because I think the Fiend has to be gone. I don't think they're going to do the Fiend again. I think they can do Howdy because Howdy was always Bo. But I think the Fiend was Bray. All of like Bray's, the character of Bray Wyatt's evil side and all his malice and menace. I think the Fiend has to stay gone forever. Personally, I think the sixth member of the Wyatt Six is either Alexa Bliss, who might be the closest thing we have to the Fiend now, or it might be. Now, look, I'm not a spiritual or religious man. I don't believe in any of that, but in a sense, it might still be Bray. It could, like, Bray can still, even though he's no longer with us, could still be the sixth member. But my money is on Alexa Bliss because of how prominently she featured in all the teasers in the build-up, in the QR codes and stuff like that. She did stuff in her kitchen. There was stuff on the floor in her house. Because of her and her husband's Instagram accounts and stuff like that. So I'm 90% sure number 6 is Alexa, and they're going to get to that point. I don't know how that's going to work, but we do know Alexa and Howdy have interacted quite a bit. Howdy interfered in a few of Alexa's matches, I believe. One quite prominently against Bianca Belair, where Howdy menaced Belair, so Bliss could get the win. Observer says, yeah, that would have been a good story. Evil versus more evil. You will see in that fantasy booking, in that hypothetical I did, Bray is very much the babyface, very much an anti-hero, but a babyface nonetheless. And in this instance, the Fiend is absolutely a face. Still a monster, but used as a face. Like we saw that with Kane, we saw that with The Undertaker. We've seen that many a time. And there were elements of the Fiend being a face back in the day, back when Bray was doing it. When that ridiculous stable, again, Retribution, were running around the Thunderdome, there were a few occasions where the Fiend was the one to hunt them down and destroy them. So, yeah, there was a point where we were cheering, uh-oh, what is going on? Interestingly, they filed a trademark for Caesar Sokoa the other day. So that's interesting. Kind of writes itself, doesn't it? Good. My parents said I could eventually get an SSD for the PS5. You'll be able to do a lot more with that, mate. I think the Bloodline stays away from the Wyatt Six. I think for now, yeah, they've got their own thing going on, don't they? But it doesn't look like they're that bothered about the Wyatt Six right now, so maybe they got away with it. Look at that dude there. I believe in Joe Hendry. Don't we all? Especially this week. Kicking ass on TNA. Great seeing him in NXT. First yawn. I am all in on NXT TNA. All in on it. I'm so behind with wrestling this week because of the amount of work I've been doing with Elden Ring for work for Deserto. So I will try and catch up on wrestling this weekend. Try. As I said the other night, always do research before you put it in your PS5. Yeah, do that because you can. There are a couple of. It can be cocked up. I've not done it in mine because I've never needed to, but yeah, it can be. It can be good. I love heel versus heel. It makes you pick. Yeah, but I think the curse of heel versus heel is the biggest heel makes the lesser heel a babyface. It's just the way it kind of works. For example, a great example of this is it was a Survivor Series and it was Baron Corbin versus The Miz. Now, The Miz was a sniveling heel on one show, while Baron Corbin was a more of a monster heel on the other show. And in this particular Survivor Series match, Miz was the babyface, even though he cheated and tried clocking Corbin with some brass knucks. Corbin was still very much the bully, picking on Miz and was saying things to Maurice, but the crowd were very much behind Miz. But that's the thing that the more a great example. Another it was Samoa Joe when he was going after Roman Reigns, but then somebody tried running over Roman Reigns in the car. Obviously, Samoa Joe was a heel, but Samoa Joe wasn't about to let Roman Reigns get run over. Of course, he wasn't. He wanted to beat him up, of course. This is professional wrestling, but he didn't want him to die. So, yeah, there are different. Oh, my God. There's some star power in that ring. Cody Rhodes is here. Go on, Punk. You know you want to. Just hit him. Go on, Punk. Give into the darkness. Let the hate flow through you. Could you imagine the heel turn that would be? Like, I know Punk's a babyface, and I do understand his justification for like doing what he's doing to Drew, but he did feel a bit heelish at Clash at the Castle doing that, particularly to the Scottish crowd. Oh, I'm surprised they didn't rip him apart. I'd love to consider Drew a full heel, but he's been to be fair, like you are now supposed to consider Drew a heel. Because what's been great about the Drew story is Drew was justified in his anger and his resentment and his frustration for a long time. The bloodline cost him everything. He was right to be a bit annoyed at trusting Jey Uso. But the difference is he's been so wrapped up in himself and holding on to his anger that he's failed to see when someone like Jey Uso turns over a new leaf, or he's failed to have the empathy to understand that Jey Uso was gaslit by Roman Reigns. So the problem with Drew is he's had a complete lack of empathy because he's so consumed by his own anger, making him a heel. He's gone down the wrong road. He could have taken the righteous path, but he's instead taken the self-absorbed villainous path. So Drew has gone from a justified angry hero to a bitter villain. It's good storytelling. I love it. Something similar has happened with AJ Styles. Something similar has happened with Liv Morgan. Liv is absolutely right in her anger towards Rhea Ripley, but she's gone about it the wrong way, and in that time has become worse than Rhea, making Rhea now the good guy in that story. So it's how they're doing the heel face dynamic is really smart at the moment. Oh, here we go. Extra security guarding the commentators, so they are acknowledging it, finally. I did some research and found how to install it. Okay, nice one, dude. Observing stuff says, why would the Wyatts stick to one brand? They don't go by anyone's rules. Exactly, mate. That's exactly what I was telling Dom before. So, because I still think they need to do a little bit more. I just honestly think they should have started tonight's show before Punk came out. They should have had, look, guys, something terrible happened on Raw. The show must go on. The people involved, we believe, are our employees. We've reached out to them. We don't understand why they did what they did. We need to speak to them. These are all people we believe who are on our roster who haven't been seen for a while. We are going to get to the bottom of it. We've tightened security tonight. Let's have a great show. Here's CM Punk. That is what I think they should have done. Just started with it. Because I'll tell you now, if you worked somewhere and everybody you worked with got beaten up and knocked out with blood all over the walls and stuff like that, the next shift, that would be acknowledged. It would be just like we think Gable might be dead, but moving on. No. See, I'm already a bit, but I think they will do something. Like the security guards at the commentators, kinda confirms it. Having Huskus the pig wear a gas mask type pig mask instead of an actual is so much creepier. Yeah, I agree. It's a little bit almost steampunkish, isn't it? Reminds me of Dishonored or something like that. Yeah, I'm feeling it. I think they all did great. It was just, I've watched it about 50 times. I loved it. I've showed my family. I watched it with Jess, on the big TV, and we loved it. And we even kind of liked the accidental stumble that Bo did as Howdy. It was almost like there's so much carnage. He's stumbling over it in his mask. It was almost like, oh my God, what have I done? This is me. I caused this. So I loved it. I agree with you, Sam. I feel the same way about Punk. Yeah, look, all I want to see CM Punk do is cut awesome promos and have great matches. That is what I want to see. I don't think as a fan I can handle any more backstage drama from him or anyone he's involved in. But what's great is him going to WWE was a chance for him to start again and hopefully prove to the world that it's not all him. Show us what many of us already know. Doesn't excuse any of his behavior, but, and I'm not going to say there's no smoke without fire, but he's done plenty wrong, but he's not the only one who's done wrong in that situation either. So I think there's a lot to be said for people worried about their spots and people causing trouble and creating cliques. And dare I say, almost bullying behavior backstage in other promotions. Now, look, if the same thing happens again in WWE, then it's obviously now he's the common denominator. But if he keeps his nose clean, and that doesn't happen in WWE, I think it does a lot to vindicate him. You know what I mean? Like we're all capable of making mistakes and losing our head. Some more than others, by the looks of it, but none of us are perfect, is what I'm saying. Why is Heyman talking to CM Punk? Shouldn't he be worried about his new psychotic tribal chief? Yeah, but I think the idea is obviously, Punk and Heyman, there's a ton of history in there. Oh, no, Sam. I meant the sixth person had it been Bray been alive. Yeah, possibly. Because, see, I always interpreted it that Bray will be up against the Wyatt Sicks as opposed to being one of them. I know it sounds a bit weird with them being called the Wyatt Sicks. I always felt like the Wyatt Sicks would be Howdy's minions. And Howdy wants Bray to become the Fiend, to be their leader. And he's poking him and poking him and poking him until he does it. But Bray relents and relents and relents. But by the time he does summon the Fiend, it's not to lead the Wyatt Sicks, it's to take out the threat. That is the way I thought it was going, because the match at WrestleMania, Howdy versus the Fiend, writes itself, doesn't it? Imagine that. Imagine it. How cool that would have been. Utterly ridiculous. Probably not even a good match, but stupidly good fun. Are they going to make a fake feud with Punk and Solo, which Drew will interfere? I'm actually kind of interested to see that. Yeah. I mean, like, if Bray had been alive, would it have been him as the new Fiend down the line as he sheds the Fiend persona? It's like I said, I honestly think the whole purpose of Uncle Howdy wasn't to be a minion of the Fiend, but to be a foil for the Fiend, to be almost a spirit animal saying, "Come home, Bray, come home, like give into the darkness." Howdy is the snake in the Garden of Eden, whispering poison into people's ears. That is where I think they're going to go now. I think Howdy needs to be the one to get other people to do violence rather than do violence himself until he's absolutely backed into a wall. He's the guy who's got to do it. Heyman mentioned the Wyatts. Yeah. The Wyatts will attack at the end of the show. Ho, ho, ho. Exciting. I get way too. I'm 36. I'm a grown man. This stuff shouldn't make me so excited, but it does, and it's okay, and I don't care. Yeah, the name will be the Solo's name or the new Bloodline member name. Yeah, it's got to be one of them, hasn't it? I love the NXT and TNA at the moment. Yeah, isn't it great? Isn't it great that we're living it like it's? I actually loved it when WWE, TNA and AEW had their little rivalry, but it was a bit of a wasted opportunity. They never ended up really going anywhere with it. Apart, they had Omega win the belt, and it was great to see like people like Moose and Callahan have a crack at Omega. That was great. But I think, yeah, it's a shame it fell apart. It'd be nice if TNA could be the glue almost that connects the other two big promotions, I suppose. Like they don't have to be AEW and WWE don't have to work together. But wouldn't it be nice if TNA was almost a middle ground where they could both go and things could kind of like, there's plenty of room in this industry for multiple big promotions. I'll just catch up on this. Heyman referred to the Wyatts causing trouble. I think they did a little bit more than that, Paul. Did Heyman just put the new bloodline on the level of the Wyatt Sicks? Paul, they didn't kill people though. Like even in kayfabe, they didn't kill anyone. It's never like I don't think they'd actually do that. The idea is they went and hurt a lot of people. You've got to be careful with your realism in WWE because eventually it's like, well, where are the police? Right, why aren't people in prison? So Bo Dallas, the wrestler, has murdered somebody, has he? Why is there not an international manhunt for this guy? Yeah. So nobody ever dies. I know, like they've done things like that in TNA and WWE in the past, but nobody ever, even if they do a fake kill off in wrestling, that person usually comes back. They drowned flipping Paul Bearer in concrete, and he came back. So I think in terms of kayfabe, they're not considered to have killed anyone. They've just brutalized a lot of people backstage to make a statement. That'll be, fast forward 6 months from now, that'll be how we talk about it and how we remember it. That like, I doubt they're going to say, oh, people died on Raw last week, because SmackDown wouldn't be happening if that was the case. So where beatdowns are pretty much an everyday occurrence backstage in a wrestling show. So as amazing as the Wyatt Sicks moment was, it wasn't completely unheard of. Like the Wyatt family did similar things. Not quite to that level, but, Heyman is a great actor. Looks like he's going to cry. Actually, good promo. But let's not be... Heyman and Punk are two of the best talkers in the business. Just bar none. And is that you, Mark? Tweeting away. Cody. Why didn't Punk and Cody attack them? Being good guys. Observing stuff, because the writers are dumb. Oh, come on, they're vastly improved. It's a good start. Mark, I agree. They could have at least beat them up. And yeah, I get it. Hassan says, can I get a vote, please? Yeah, sorry, mate. I'll get there. Just going to catch up with some of these comments. Mark watches they're trying to injure the bloodline. Yeah. Rishab's in. Hello, mate. How you doing? It's been a tough week, hasn't it, Rishab, for some of us? I don't know about you. I'm sleep deprived as all hell. I predict the Wyatt Sicks intervenes at the main event and all the security guards are dead, but they leave Cody and the bloodline alone. Ooh, now that I like. See, the idea of them targeting certain people, but then not targeting others. Now that's fascinating. Like, is it cowardice, or do they only have beef for certain people? I think Heyman and Punk will team up again soon. Yeah, I wonder if that's where they're going with this. One last run. I vote for Naomi. Do you know what, Hassan? Yeah, I think this match will be over by the time the ads are done. So I'll catch up with the comments and we'll do a poll and stuff for the next one, mate. I could see Bray developing different personalities with different masks. Yeah, that would have been awesome, and they still could do that with Bo. But I've always been a fan of the Uncle Howdy gear, like the V for Vendetta thing. Is actually quite telling, and actually quite smart. And his new look, with the dreads, with the Fiend's dreads, almost taking on the spirit of the Fiend. Oh, just brilliant! He looks amazing. Got to be honest. AEW TNA sucked. I thought there was some good stuff. I loved how Kenny Omega was such a flipping heel that the heels from TNA were baby faces. That I kind of enjoyed that. Having Sami Callihan ruthlessly go after Omega was great. And Moose versus Omega, we got to see that. So I'm always happy for that stuff personally. But what were those Tony Khan promos about? Where we just buried TNA in each one? What was that? Whenever I watch TNA, I kind of want the Hardy Boys back to WWE. About the time the OG tag team. See, is it? Oh, Rashab, like, you're right. I have a lot of love for the Hardy Boys too, but I'm just like, I just don't find them interesting in 2024. I didn't find them interesting in 2019. You know, I don't know. They're not for me anymore. I'm not saying they should retire or blah, blah, blah. Just, they don't excite me anymore. It's not an age thing. It's just, like, Broken Matt Hardy was great. Here we go. But it's too played out now. It's been done in multiple promotions, and I just don't want to see it anymore. I just don't. Security guards are everywhere tonight. Wyatts are going to kill the guards tonight. Well, they're going to beat them up, is what they're going to do, and make it look incredibly creepy with a conveniently placed dry ice machine. We all missed the Pluto sign. If they have this match security, then they have to be doing something in the main event. So, yeah, like it doesn't make sense, does it, to have the security out? Like, they know we're waiting for it now, so they've got to do something. I think Khan was burying them so he could buy them out as well. See, he'd need a real pickup in his allowance to buy TNA. Buying Ring of Honor while Sinclair Broadcasting were trying to get shot of them is one thing, but buying TNA at the height of its power, well, no, it's at the height of its power now, I suppose, or at least heading back to that direction. But I don't know if he could have afforded TNA. I get his dad's a billionaire, but, you know, turn TNA into his vision. See, if that was that would be horrible. That'd be a horrible thought. Like TNA, like, he's bought Ring of Honor, and I have some things that frustrate me about that. I think the booking of Ring of Honor just feels like AEW light at the moment, where I want Ring of Honor to be Ring of Honor. I still want them to be sister promotions and for them to, you know, cross paths with each other and stuff. But I do think Ring of Honor should have a defined roster, where AEW should have a defined roster across its various brands. I think Ring of Honor should be a very different product with a very different booker and a very different style to AEW. But right now, it just feels like another show. It just feels like AEW Dark, and and that is not the direction Ring of Honor should have gone in. Hopefully, they'll see sense and turn it around. But I think what's happening with Ring of Honor is still better than what would have happened if WWE had bought it, because Vince would have just unified the Ring of Honor World Championship with one of his B titles. Trust me, he would have done that. Wouldn't have been with the big ones. Absorb the tape library and kill the brand forever. I think that is what he would have done. At least, well, it's not my cup of tea, but at least Tony Khan is keeping Ring of Honor and using it's only Ring of Honor in name only, really. It's more AEW, but at least it still exists, has its own show, and it's great to see Ring of Honor on a big stage, you know, like in a big arena like this with loads of people. That's amazing. It's just a shame that they don't really have a clearly defined roster, and their weekly TV is just 30-second job matches with people we've never seen before or will never see again against big stars who we know are going to win. So it's like, it's pointless viewing. So there's so much they need to do to Ring of Honor TV to improve it. So much. Guys, I'm just going to nip for a week. I'll be 1 second. Let's just quickly. I told you that'd be over in a minute. Hang on a sec. Never find it. There it is. There we go. My cat has invaded the stream down here, so I've just opened my door to see if he wants to go back out. And here we go. Heyman getting threatened again by Solo Sikoa. Quick question. Other than the necessity for storyline's sake, why does Heyman still work for the Bloodline? Why isn't he just handing in his notice by now? And do you know what, guys? I don't like being threatened every week. Screw you. Bye-bye. Like, what's in it for him at this point? Is it money? Is that like, does he need more of that? Here we go. Let's do some comments. Mate, get some sleep after the show. It's been a hard week for you. Rishab knows. If you don't know, everyone, we've been running a campaign at work, obviously doing some Elden Ring content because we're a gaming journalism site. I've been at the forefront of that, and it's been lovely. It's been great. But my God, it's been hard work. So much fun, but there's a lot more to do. But yeah, would you believe, Rishab? I'm in tomorrow, and I'm in on Sunday. I've agreed to do a bit of overtime to help out because there's more that needs doing. So I've done it willingly. I'm more than happy. You know, I'm being paid, being compensated. It's all good. But there have just not been enough hours in the day today so I'm happy to do it. By this time next weekend, I'll be able to relax. So I might actually not be on SmackDown stream next week. I might actually have a weekend off from any work whatsoever next Friday, next weekend. So we'll see. But it's not over yet, Rashad. Come Monday morning, mate, we're back on it. Well, you're back on it. I'm back on it tomorrow. What I'm going to do, Rashad, is I'm going to go to bed after this tonight. Wake up kind of late. Go to the gym. Do a bit of a swim. Sit in the hot tub. Sit in the sauna, jacuzzi, all of that. Steam room. Come back, maybe after lunch, and then crack on, do a few hours, then have a night off. And Sunday, I'm just going to do a few hours in the morning, see what I can get out, and then rest for the rest of the day, I think. I've got a family event, so I'll be going drinking a skinful of beer. We know Bianca is winning this, unless Jay turns heel. Well, maybe not. To make sure the showing of the security guides. These guys are dead tonight, lol. Chelsea stole it. Miplet says, gotta go. Okay, mate, it's all good. Wait, nah, Chelsea, really? Oh, God, are we getting Karen in the bank? Oh, I hope so. Karen Green wins. Oh, that'd be just so good. Mia's Styles Clash was amazing, by the way. Soul has a nice shirt. So you're very observant tonight. Be on the lookout for pigs, hawks, vultures, and rabbits. That's what we all need to be looking out for. So my cat doesn't know he wants to stay in or go out. I'm shutting this door. It's getting cold now. Yeah, he's stuck in here with me. What he wants is for me to open the door and let him into the main house. But the problem is if I do that, he'll find his way to our bedroom and wake up my wife. So that's why I'm not letting him out. You have to stay there, you fool. More ads because it's WWE. Yeah, so I think we're seeing him tonight. Just the question is when, at what point. No Misfit tonight. Saw him earlier. He's not here tonight though. What on earth this ad? Oh my lord. Oh my god. Oh, why did they just show that? It's post Watershed. I'm not going to tell you what I just saw. I don't know if any of you just saw what I just saw. That particular advert, commercial then. Oh my god. There was a guy shaving his balls. Well, that was the implication. Misfit's tweeting. Oh, what makes a change? Oh, he's not with us tonight. He must be with. He must have another podcast. A podcast on the side. You know, like maybe his own. I suppose. Bless him. Fair enough, Misfit. It's all right, mate. He does give us some valuable insight sometimes, that's for sure. He pays way more attention to the Sean Ross Sapp stuff than I do. I'm a big fan of Sean Ross Sapp, but I ain't got the time to read everything that goes up on. And to be fair, I actually don't want to. Look, I know I'm technically a wrestling journalist too, but I don't want to know every little thing. I only want to know something if it's beneficial to the work we're doing. I kind of enjoy not knowing stuff. So, because I'm still a fan at the end of the day. I don't want to know every little thing before it happens because that's just not fun. Mark, is that you tweeting? Come on, let's see some Wyatt stuff. Come on. See, I had an idea. Wouldn't it be cool if they got the Freedom Tower? Looks amazing. Wouldn't it be amazing if they got the some dude in the ring like tied to a chair and he had to kind of like read a list of the Wyatt's demands or something like, dark, lights on and fireflies are out. That'd be cool. But that building is huge. I've not been to New York, one of the places I've not been to. It's on my to-do list. Next time they do Mania in New York, I think I'll probably go to that one. Yeah, lol. It's pretty much to say the security team is dead, mate. Yeah. The stars of indie wrestling tomorrow or today or whatever who are on this security roster are really trouble. So I could have sworn there was a bunch of wrestlers who got taken out as well, though. So I'd love to know who they are because I've heard it from multiple places this week. I just haven't had the time to look myself. I could have sworn I saw Gunther. No, Grayson Waller. Trouble in paradise between him and Austin Theory. We will have a poll next time. Apart from Chad, it was all extras. Is that confirmed though? Because I've heard it. I've heard other things. So like, this is the part where I asked for a source. What the hell? That scared Kayla. What? McIntyre. Let's be honest. We knew this was going to happen tonight, didn't we? McIntyre has brutalized Punk. We knew that was coming, didn't we? Let's be honest. And I'm not being funny, Phil. You had it coming. Like, he had it coming as well, but eventually this cycle of revenge needs to end. Is he taking him to the ring? Oh, that. What if he takes him to the ring and then the Wyatts attack? Do I just need to shut up about the Wyatts? Well, then the camera's not leaving him. Just going to see. Who did the Wyatts attack? Oh, okay. You might be right here, Mark. 441 are saying... And my cat is walking past the screen. Yeah, 441 are saying it was just extras. So you might be right there. I could have sworn that I saw a report where it listed a bunch of others. Observing stuff says there's a Scottish psychopath I love. Is he legitimately juicing there, Punk? Sorry, my cat is just getting comfy on my knee. Do not dig your claws in. It hurts. Drew is tired of being cheated and he's fed up. I think, look, Drew, if you hadn't like waved it in his face at Mania and maybe hadn't told him you prayed for his injury, you're not exactly squeaky clean here, mate. I know for a fact the Wyatts aren't attacking Drew tonight. I'm not being funny, Wyatts. Yeah, anyone who gets in Drew's way tonight is probably in trouble. Or is that what they want us to think? Go on, Aldis. Don't you strike Nick Aldis. I love how everyone's a little bit scared of Aldis, so no one really messes with him. Like, he's not just a pencil pusher general manager. He could actually F you up if he wanted to. I have a cat who's chilling out here. Do you have a look? And say hello, Archie. As I quickly mark it WrestleSphere. Oh, here we go. The endless stretchering out. As fragile as Punk is, I don't think he could afford to lose that much blood. Yeah, maybe right. Might go into a coma. Oh, it's so catty. That's more catty than him. Hey, Archie. Shall we do this every week, Arch? See, he's annoyed that I'm on his chair. Would you believe this computer chair is where he sleeps most nights? Because he's allowed in this room at night. The only reason we don't let him into the main house at night is because he'd jump all over us, cry to go out, would be annoying, would wake up the dogs, would. So what we do with this cat is we just let him sleep in here, and he's got this comfy computer chair, and he just sleeps on that. During the day, he can go wherever he wants. I think sooner or later, they might have to bring Mickie James in, so she could be a way to get him in the ring, like the Wyatt Sicks, or someone kidnaps her, forces him to get in the ring. I agree. Love that Drew finally got his hands on Punk. Yeah, I've been waiting for it. Classic psychopath. It's kind of right. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, though. This feud, neither of them are perfect. So let's imagine, though, Mark, right? So if that is indeed true, and it looks like it is, because they were saying everybody in that attack was deliberate. But why say that if it was only Chad? That just seems a bit. I don't know. It seems like it's very targeting Chad if that's the case. There must be a really big storyline reason for that. Maybe it's the whole family thing. Well, word is Rishab. He's actually cleared to return, but they're just taking it slow. So I think this is just a way of building the feud until SummerSlam. But yeah, I reckon they'll be back by SummerSlam. The question is he cleared, or kayfabe cleared? Because they're two very different things. Like being kayfabe injured and injured. I'm trying to do a wrestling stream here. Got you purring. Every time I stop stroking him, he's like, yeah, keep going. That'll work for you, So that was cool. It was like the things banging on the door. A little bit like The Walking Dead, wasn't it? That was almost like something out of a horror film. I like how everyone's on edge because of what happened. And Kayla Braxton ran for her life. It's all right, Kayla. It's only what it always is in wrestling. Two wrestlers beating each other up. Yeah, I do think they should have done a little bit more, though. I kind of wanted the threat of the Wyatts to be hanging over this like a cloud. I feel like they've done some good stuff with Punk, McIntyre, Heyman tonight, all of that, but I really think in this SmackDown there should have been more threat hanging over it, considering how big what they did on Raw was. I do like Punk's shoes. They're like a bottle of Prime on your feet. So we're almost an hour into the show. There's an hour to go. There's Jason Jordan. I hate it when they do these bloody stretcher things. They go on for years. They always take forever to get going. Then something happens in the ambulance or before the ambulance goes. This is the bit where McIntyre attacks. Oh, no. That's right, Aldis. You hit that ambulance. That's how they know to go. Pretty good bump Punk took when Drew threw him. Yeah. We get it. CM Punk is dead. Yeah, they always it takes forever, doesn't it? So what we got now? Is this a qualifier? Is it just two of them? Just Hayes versus Tonga? I'm covered in cat hair. This is interesting. Are they going to squash Hayes here? Like, Tama Tonga generally squashes people at the moment. Oh, no. Multiple people. So, okay, let's do a poll, shall we? Because I've been a bit lax. And, putting cat head. If I sneeze, you know what's going on. Here's Randy, who's been telling us for 20 years he hears voices in his head. He should probably get some therapy at this point. There we go. Okay. Let's do a poll. See, I don't even know if this is a triple threat or not yet. Or a fatal four-way. So who wins? Tama Tonga. Carmelo Hayes. Anyone else? Triple threat, yeah. I observe your stuff. I can't listen to everything they say and yak in your ear at the same time. Because let's be honest, if prolonged periods of silence in a thing like this, you wonder if something's gone wrong in my brain. The whole reason we do this is we're people who can just endlessly talk. I've always been good at doing that. Right, okay. So I keep doing this. I've got a cat hair that for some reason just keeps finding its way back to my nose. So, right, brand, okay, banners. Let's have a banner for the first time tonight, shall we? Post-massacre burgers. That's one from Dom's the other night. I just thought I'd pop that up because it was funny. So now I want a burger. On now. Hayes versus Tonga versus Orton. I'm so lazy, I can't be bothered writing all their full names down. Oh my god. They went for Randy. I like the Money in the Bank theme. Yeah, do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of, don't know if you've ever read or heard of The Shadow. It's like a very old superhero. It also reminds me of the Green Hornet. Somewhat the art style is very like The Shadow on the Green Hornet. Mellow in there to take the loss, yeah, potentially. Obviously, Tama and Randy have been doing it dance for a while. Carmelo will probably win. Tama and Orton will be too busy hating each other. Well, that's a good counter. We'll see which one it is. The Shadow was awesome. A good guy with a Tommy gun. See, I don't remember the Tommy gun. I do remember a film where he's got to like fight some like relative of Genghis Khan who's come back to life in a museum or something. Absolutely nuts. Was it a comic book as well? Was it like a very old comic book, or was it just a movie? If anybody knows, do let me know. But I remember watching the movie as a kid and thinking, this is ace. Can I have more of this? I'm surprised in this era of era of superheroes, no one's revived it. Yeah, I think it was people inside who said it was NXT talent and extras. Oh, right. Well, that's so strange, isn't it? Iceman, what's up, brother? Hello, Brother Fluff Salisbury. That's a great name, by the way. Thank you for joining us. We're not all as anxious as Kayla Braxton apparently is, but we're all kind of anxiously waiting to see what happens next. It's one of them episodes where they made a rod for their own back because we're all just kind of sat here wondering if the Wyatts are going to attack. Williams. I should get a cup of tea, but I can't be bothered. I never knew it was a movie. Just knew about the comic. Oh, right. Wow. So, see, I only ever knew about the movie, not the comic. It's ancient now, though, like proper ancient. Fireman. It's been a while, partner. I forget how far back some of you guys go with this podcast. Many of you predate me. It's fascinating when you watch some of the old ones and then like come back to these ones, how like the evolution of it. Couple of constants though. I think Danny relatively new, isn't he? In some form. Oh no, not this advert again. I think Ant and Dom are the two constants, aren't they? Love that they brought in all the security for the Wyatt Sicks just for Drew to destroy Punk. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Sam. Me, Brother Fluff somehow became tag team partners on the Wrestle Story channel. Oh, I see. Of course. One of our affiliated channels as well. It was nice of them to take over this. Do you remember the Wrestle Story takeover when we were at WrestleMania? Because all of the hosts were at Mania and some of our mods as well. So we had nobody to work the podcast. We're like, shit, what do we do? So we asked Wrestle Story and they did it. I remember getting home and my wife was going, "Oh, it was really good while you were away. The guys who took over your podcast were great." I was like, "What? Like, I know they're great, but you're not going to make out they're better than us." Yeah, I remember that. The Wrestle Story needs to come back. And what are they? Are they not operating currently? I haven't watched for a while, you see, and I'm really sorry I keep scratching my nose. It's this bloody cat. Shadow was also a radio show in the 50s. See, tomorrow I'm going to go and do a deep dive on the Shadow. So is that what they're deliberately not referencing, but paying tribute to with this artwork, do you think? I need to go and have a look tomorrow. But yeah, check out that movie. Bloody ancient now. In fact, shall we see how old it is? The Shadow. Fictional character. There he Oh yeah, so there he is. He's like Zorro the Tommy gun. That's nuts. First appearance, 1930s. Radio and 1930s in print. That's mad. Stop snoring. Wow. The comic is from the 30s. That's just crazy. When was the movie made? Let's have a little look. Radio drama, comic strip. So he's been part of DC Comics and part of Marvel Comics as well. And part of Dark Horse. That's crazy. God, there's been loads of movies. They made a movie in 1994. Is that the one I saw? It could be. Sam Raimi was going to adapt it. But no one's heard anything about it since 2012. There you go. I think the one I saw might have been the 90s one, but it seems so much older. Just look. Must have been the 90s one, was the one I saw. Gable's alive. He's alive. And WWE have already ruined the Wyatt Sicks. Well, no, like I disagree. Like the idea that Gable is dead was rubbish. Of course he wasn't dead. We're going to see him at some point on TV. Gable was just brutalized and hurt by the Wyatt Sicks to further the story. They didn't kill off a wrestler. We saw him get severely hurt. We didn't hear about him for a couple of days. Now we're hearing about him again. It's all deliberate. Like, if anybody ever thought we weren't going to see Chad Gable again, that's ridiculous. Like, of course we were. They've done this to further his story with his own people and the Wyatt Sicks story. I used to listen to this YouTube channel where they would play all-time radio stories, and The Shadow was one of them. How could I forget? It's authentic old American radio. If you care to give it, well, yeah, put the link in there. I'll have a look. I'm kind of excited now. Interested, at least. Somehow Chad's been cleared. He got beaten up. People get beaten up in wrestling all the time. He got beaten up with a load of dry ice, but it's no different from what just happened to CM Punk. I used to go to sleep to it. My ancestors probably did the same. So I've been going to sleep to recently. Lore to sleep to. A lot of it like Warhammer or Dark Souls lore, that sort of stuff. That's been great. And this cat is getting hairs everywhere. Archie, you are a nightmare. I had a small heart attack last fall. Oh my God. And I've lost 95 pounds. Shit. No soda, no sweets, very little bread. Oh, mate, that sucks. I'm so sorry. But I suppose from that diet, you'll be doing well. That's a good diet, that. But obviously, yeah, geez, that's frightening, that. That's something I live in fear of, if I'm being honest. That's why I put so much time in at the gym these days. Oh, here comes Tangaloa. Yeah, I mean, like, if I didn't walk the dog as much as I did and go to the gym and go swimming and do all that, I'd oh God, I don't even want. I dread to think. Like, hope you're okay and taking care of yourself. I'll pray for you. You're happy. You're still around. I'm sure your family is too. I don't pray to anything personally, guys, but I can obviously, you've got my wishes, my well wishes, and I hope that's all right. And I do let us know, like, make sure you let us know that everything's all right. There's no point being part of a community if you don't look after it, of course. Adam Pearce did a video saying he's back in the Money in the Bank three-way dance. It is now just Wyatt Sicks hacking the video. Make up your mind, WWE. I think Gable will guilt trip the Academy for staying with me for a while. Exactly. I think that's exactly right. I think Gable will take the opportunity now to guilt trip Alpha Academy. You left me, and look what happened after everything I did for you. Observing stuff. Says, I haven't prayed in years, but last year my mother begged me to start while I was in jail, so I haven't stopped ever since. Oh, yeah, jail. Fluff, I went to jail last year for 2 weeks. 2 weeks? I bet that was a rough 2 weeks. Oh. Something's happening. Raw. Here we go. Here we go. They said we were warned. What's going on? It's the door. How cool did Nikki Cross look, by the way? Seriously. Out of all of the outfits, hers was... yeah, let's see what you all went for in that poll. Okay, let's see. How many of you got it right? Ooh, no way. So Orton wins, having 50% of the vote. Carmelo Hayes has 33%. And Tamatonga has 17%. So Randy's technically tied with the other two. See there? I thought that was Braun Strowman. It must not have been. There's Gable. So it's a recap. It's a recap, but they are furthering things, aren't they? Somewhat of a manifesto is what I think we need. Some kind of a, this is why we're doing it, you know? We're here. Oh, don't ad break that. I think it's time he brings the Creed brothers now. Like, we know he's getting them. Yeah, that's a great point. Oh, it sucks. My second day there, I saw a dead body. Jesus. And they tried to cover it up. Oh my god. Wait, Hayes won? Observing stuff beat up Dom Mysterio and nails every. Yeah, I hear he wasn't in there as long as you. I mean, if Dominic Mysterio came out so hardened after 45 minutes, imagine how you came out. You know, I've seen some things, man, and some stuff. Carmelo Hayes is qualified for Money in the Bank. Hayes pinned Randy Orton with the roll-up. Orton was distracted by Tongaloa and Kevin Owens fighting outside. We're going to see some tension now between KO and Randy because of that, perhaps. Like, that has to be where they're going. How on earth, right? Can I ask? And I'm not against it. I'm not against it. Sorry, Archie. I've got to move my legs. He's going to kick off this cat. Oh, no, maybe not. Good cat. How are Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, two of the biggest betrayers in WWE, still such good friends? Have they finally found like a bosom buddy? Is that what it is? It's like, is it like a mutually assured destruction kind of thing? You know, like a United States and Russia just not liking each other, but they have to work together because if they don't, it's the end of the world as we know it. I think. Oh, I'm not going to put that up observing stuff because I don't want it to trigger anyone. You understand? So, like we have had people on this podcast who've really struggled with mental health and things like that. So, I don't want to put anything up that's triggering. So glad Nikki is part of this. Tired of them having to play somewhat goofball characters. Yes, me too. Like that Nikki ASH crap that they did. Oh my lord, that was just the worst. The worst. But no, back onto the whole praying thing. I don't think I've ever prayed. I was raised in a secular household, and I'm a secular guy. It's just not for me. I think I don't want to sound arrogant with it, but I feel like for me, science and reason is always the way forward. I suppose, just the way I see things. Because Orton's getting old, he can't do the full programs on his own. Is that what it is? Because I think they're more building to something, and I think because Randy Orton and Kevin Owens are always just prepared to just betray whoever they're working with. So I do wonder if it's the fact that they're not doing it to each other is to confound us. Yeah, that video package was to confirm Nikki is Abby the Witch and not Sister Abigail, as some people thought. But isn't Abby the Witch, hence the Abby to Abigail, isn't Abby the Witch an interpretation of Sister Abigail? Do you know what I mean? Aren't they like Abby the Witch was meant to be representing Sister Abigail, wasn't she? That was the whole point. It's why they called her Abby. I was raised Christian, stopped praying around late teens. I personally just don't believe in anything supernatural. I'll convert for evidence, boys and girls. WWE came close to portraying a fatality when Orton set the Fiend on fire. Yeah, and see, that was where they started losing it, isn't it? I'm still on the LA Knight train. Good, me too. Let me talk to you. Yeah, like they're saying, she's just the witch, not the actual person. Oh, right, yeah. So she's the latest representation of Sister Abigail, but the real, because isn't the real Sister Abigail some person who trained Bray Wyatt and presumably Uncle Howdy as well before dying mysteriously, and then Randy Orton burnt the house down and she was buried under the house? So I can't remember. I know there's like a rich, deep lore to all of this, but I don't know if all of it's been good or consistent. Yeah, the real Sister Abigail. See, I always liked the idea of Bray thinking Alexa Bliss was Sister Abigail and her using that to manipulate Bray and the Wyatt. So I always thought that would be a good story. Dude, my name is Samuel. It means heard by God, and I'm the biggest atheist you'll ever meet. But anyway, we don't want to do religion here. We don't upset anyone, or each their own. Do what you gotta do, as long as it doesn't hurt anyone. And don't let it near any legislation, please. Is what I'd also say. LA Knight. Let's not forget, LA Knight was the last person to kind of feud with Uncle Howdy somewhat. Howdy jumped off the thing and attacked him. Do you remember that? Here's Santos. I tell you what, they're all walking around like they own the place, considering there's a creepy death cult running around. Now, the really interesting thing is, what do you do with Bliss? What's this new character Bray made for her? Yeah. No, I know it was a botch, but in kayfabe, he jumped on him, didn't he? I know it was a bit of an awkward, botchy moment. But see, that match is quite close to my heart because it's the last ever Bray Wyatt match. So, and I thought the presentation of Wyatt during that match was phenomenal. Shame it was advertising cereal, but it wasn't a very good match, obviously, but it was a great spectacle. It was fun to watch, and sometimes, for me, that redeems things. I don't need every single match on a card or anywhere else to be, Omega Okada. I just don't. I did like actually how LA Knight cut a promo eulogizing Bray Wyatt after Bray Wyatt died. I thought that was quite nice, and almost how like their feud triggered his babyface turn. And oh my God, Logan Paul is in the building. Logan, you picked a really bad night to come back, mate. That can't be all they do with the Wyatts tonight. Surely there's got to be more than that. I'll eat humble pie if Dom was right. I will. But they've got to do something. I do still think they should have started the show with it, though. I feel like that was a missed opportunity. Don't take a selfie. That was such a crap Austin Theory gimmick. Remember that? What was that about? Vince going, I want you to go and take a selfie. I live in Florida. Creepy death cults don't scare me. Alligator. I know. As I look at, I'm a guy who loves Florida. I adore it. I really do. One of my second homes, Florida. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie. A bit of True Detective. It just fits so beautifully, doesn't it? Can't wait to go out to Florida soon. I think, sadly, the next time I'm in Florida, I'll only be like having a bit of a layover before I get on a ship. So I think it'll be flying to Port Lauderdale than just hanging out there for a night while I wait to get on a Royal Caribbean cruise. I think that'll be the next time I end up in Florida. Oh, I'm sorry, this itchy nose. Bloody cat. If they did the security on Raw, I'd get it, but they didn't do anything on Raw. Then, yeah, like, I'm more thinking if they don't do anything with it tonight with all the security, that's a wasted opportunity because nobody knew what was happening on Raw. No, like, I suppose they did, but because they got the QR codes and all the threats. But now that they've actually seen it happen, like, it makes sense to have the security now, but if nothing happens at all, then why even go to the effort on TV, you know? Thank you, Logan, for reminding me the time. I live in that time zone. Drew's latest tweet is a Highlander covered in blood. Do you mean Homelander or Highlander? Oh, a Highlander, of course, because he's Scottish. Sorry. I've got, The Boys, Amazon's The Boys on the brain because it's such a good show. I want to watch The Boys now. So good. Has Rishab left us this evening? That guy's Cody cosplay. The t-shirt I'm wearing, by the way, tonight, guys, is obviously the WrestleSphere logo. So if you want to see any of the... I'm getting tired now. You want to see any of the Gimme A Hull Yeah guys interviewing WWE, TNA, whoever else, get over there because that's where it is. Me, Andy, Dom, and a bunch of other guys write a lot of articles on there. So we put a lot of effort into it. It's a big deal. So go check it out. The Boys has a new episode out. Yeah, here's the thing, Norma. I'm not going to watch it until the whole season's out. Then I'm going to marathon it. Same with House of the Dragon. I'm going to wait until the whole season's out. Then I'm going to watch it. A couple of other things too. Because it's like, I'm so over the whole week by week waiting thing. I'm done with it. Netflix has ruined it for me. But, and also because, like, when you back in the day, you'd watch something, you'd go to work, you'd talk to people about it. Those days are gone. I feel like because of Netflix and how they've done things, and I feel like those days are also gone for me because I work from home. A lot of the work I do 9 to 5 is either done here or in the upstairs office. So I don't have a water cooler to congregate at, and the only person who's ever at in the kitchen when I make a cup of tea is my wife. So. Although it's me who's in the kitchen the most making cups of tea. So let's get that straight. Homelander is out of control. See, if they stick to the comics, there's some cool stuff he's going to do soon. Yeah, season 5 will be the last. So they really do need to start bringing it home with the Boys now. There's a few things they got to do. But they did something at the end of season 3 that really kind of scuppers the ending of the comics. Because Black Noir is very important to the endings of the ending of the comics. And I do recall the last episode I watched, Black Noir got his heart ripped out. So I know there's a Black Noir 2 running around in season 4. So I do wonder if they've killed off the original Black Noir so they can pull off that switcheroo at the end. Anyway, I'll stay quiet just in case the comics is a spoiler for people because they are loosely sticking to it, very loosely. Can I get a vote, please? You can't. Oh, if the match is even happening, mate. Observing has just been sent something on Discord. Coolio. I need to know who's in this one, actually, Hassan. Then I'll do it because it's not everybody's made it to the ring yet. So I'm like that with Reacher. I always wait to the end. Yeah, it's just like I like. There's no way. I never ever sit down and watch everything in one sitting, but I like to have the option to watch another one if I want to. You know. Oh, I'm so behind on all the TV I want to watch. Nope. I'm flagging now, but guys, it's 2:30 in the morning here, and I've had a hell of a heavy week. Just gonna quickly pause it, guys, and make a cup of tea. I shan't be long. God, who says shan't? Won't be long. I'm back. There we go. Got some tea. So half an hour to go. I can make it. I can make it. And for a change, there's adverts for a change. My cat's getting mad because he wants this chair. Basically, he wants me to go to bed so he can have the chair he sleeps on. But he's got to wait half an hour. Sorry, Archie. There's a camera angle on SmackDown where it looks like Orton hit Owens with a chair by mistake. Eek. So he's really getting mad, this cat. Archie, I'm gonna have to put you outside, mate. I'll jump on my knee again in a minute. See, would you believe I actually have a very, very mild cat allergy, but I don't normally feel it unless I'm kind of like got him up in my face, and because I take allergy medication anyway, I don't notice it half the time. I feel like I'm all about waiting for the Wyatts now. That is what I'm here for. It's not like I've stopped caring about every other storyline, but it feels like after doing such a big angle on Raw, it is hard to kind of not care about anything else, but I just want to see where that one goes. And if it doesn't go anywhere at all tonight, I don't want a lot. I just think like it'd be good if they made their presence known at the end of the episode somehow. And then we can go into next week being like, right, what do we do from here? Because I feel like they've ignored it a bit too much in this SmackDown. I know we got the recap and Heyman talked about it and they've done a couple of things. I just think like, I suppose Caleb Braxton, the security, Heyman, I don't know. It just feels a bit. Yeah, all right, Hassan, I'll do a vote now. Hang on. Okay. What the hell? Oh, there we go. Randy Orton won that last one. Start a poll. So who wins? This will be over by the time I've done it, won't it? KO, Andrade, and Grayson. It's live. I'm not going to do a banner. A-Town down. I can't believe it's nearly been a year since Money in the Bank. God, that was a great night. It was really, really fun. Money in the Bank. We, me, Dom, and Andy went. We hung out with the guys from Rebellious Noise podcast. If you watch, I think was it last week? On last Monday, Scott and I from Rebellious Noise did a bit of a joint Hull Yeah, joint podcast. It was a Hull Yeah hangout where Scott from Reb Noise and I had a bit of a chat about where do they go from here, and and we were kind of anticipating what the Wyatt Sicks gonna do, and blimey, was it? Did they ever deliver? So that was the same night the Wyatt Sicks debuted. We were kind of discussing how important is it going to be, and they're going to get it right. I think looking back on that, they did exactly what they were going to do, but I'll be disappointed by this episode of SmackDown if they don't do anything with it. I do like that they do qualifiers for Money in the Bank now. I think they should do qualifiers for all sorts of things. It's hard to do it for the Royal Rumble, though, isn't it? Because it's nice to have some surprises in the Rumble. Oh God, Kevin Owens and hurt his leg then. After the whole Damian Priest thing at Clash at the Castle, I don't know when someone's selling or they're really hurt now. Jess was like, he's really hurt himself. And I was like, nah, he's selling. So it was a mixture of both, it turns out. See, I went in there to get some tea. The plan was to get some a little bit of caffeine, but then I thought half an hour to go, I can survive half an hour. So I sprayed some like cool air and water into my eyes and got a sleepy tea for later. But It's full of chamomile and valerian. It's going to knock me out. And trust me, I'm not going to need much rocking tonight. One, two, three. Got him. Andrade's going through. Let's see what happens in the poll. Andrade won that one by 67%. 66%, sorry. KO got 33. Nobody went for Grayson. I'll keep this here for now, just in case we do another. 3 jobbers in a row. Oh, come on. So recap for me, Mark. Who's won them tonight? Because I'm really flagging. Apart from Andrade, Carmelo. See, I wouldn't say Carmelo's a jobber. I think Carmelo might be the future, you know. They do need to do that, though. They do need to start giving people like Andrade and Carmelo more opportunities, because we can't just give it to the same people every year, you know. And Chelsea Green's amazing. She's brilliant. Honestly, she's such a good character. Oh, WWE, stop dragging it out. Come on. I don't normally flag this hard, guys. A Monster Energy drink did its work, but sadly hasn't done it for long enough. Just been a very heavy work week. Very, very heavy. I know it's not entertaining, hear me talk about that, but I'm here. I'll wake up if they do something Uncle Howdy related. My problem is I let the cat in. I shouldn't have done that. It set me off. Oh, man. I wonder how bad I look now compared to when this stream began. One sec. So if it wasn't for this gig, I'd find like watching WWE live unbearable because of all the adverts, the commercials. I'd find it unbearable. Like when I watch it privately, I just fast forward all of them. I never watch it live. I always watch it the next morning or the next evening, and I skip all this. I don't watch ads ever in anything, apart from when I'm doing SmackDown on stream. Right, one more of them might work. I got that last year, you know, and it was really, really helpful, like keeping me awake and keeping me jazzed. But it only works for so long before you've got to start. Well, basically, you got to sleep. Andrade might be one of the future as well, but Melo is stuck being the speed champion. You know, it was speed. I just don't pay any attention to it at all. I don't think it means anything. If they ever acknowledge it on TV, then it might do one day. Do they ever defend it on a pay-per-view, on a pre-show or something? Then it might one day, but it's just a marketing campaign on Twitter, as far as I'm concerned. Doesn't need my attention. You want me to watch people put them on TV? I ain't watching wrestling in 2-minute intervals on Twitter. Hell no. I get the purpose of it, and if it works, then I'm all for it. See, I don't know what X is, Mark. I've heard of Twitter, but I've no idea what X is. I refuse to ever, capitulate to that. I'm never. I know I'm a bore with that. I know I am, but because of what's going on behind that and why they're doing it, I refuse to ever capitulate. You know what I mean? It's just a nasty power play by a nasty human being who has all the money in the world but hates himself and hates everyone else. I remember when I thought he was cool, when he was the rocket guy. He was the guy who was going to take us to Mars. But since he's rebranded himself to a far-right nut, and someone malevolent who doesn't like anything, it's Anyway, enough bitching about that weirdo. And I'd love for him to see me say that, and just even though I'm nobody, I'd love for him to just see that and feel powerless to do anything about it. You can tell I'm tired tonight. All sorts of weird stuff has come out. Whinged about Musk. We discussed religion or my lack of it. It's like being in the pub. No, it's just the X thing. I'm just like I will bet. I bet my car that it'll one day revert back to being Twitter. So I'm not joining. I'm not joining in this exercise of bootlicking, which is what it is. It's the minute you say that, you're kissing his feet, and I won't play the game. I just can't. I feel very strongly about it. What the hell is this? Have you ever watched Raw or SmackDown, particularly SmackDown, without, not live, fast forwarded all the ads, fast forwarded when they do this weird stuff? It's not even an hour long in terms of actual content. Oh, Tiffany Stratton. We haven't seen enough of Tiffany Stratton recently, have we? Where's she been? Even Chad is taking the mic now. He's posted a pic for Friday the 13th movies where he's risen from the dead. See, no, I think that's all right. Props punished? No, it's who? Chad Gable? What for? Blair Davenport. God, that's such an NXT name. Oh, Tiffany punished. What for? Sorry, I forget. And at 20 to 3 in the morning, I'm not at my sharpest. Oh, sorry, one sec, guys. Oh, Kayla, covered in security. Cody Rhodes is coming out. Oh, come on. If they're attacking anyone, it's got to be this boy. Did Uncle Howdy or Bray Wyatt or anyone ever have any beef with Cody, though? I don't recall. She called Jade or Bianca. You can't be serious. That can't be true. Mark, if that... Surely that'd be an instant firing. I'm going to quickly Google that. Just looking. Yeah, so I'm just trying to see confirmation of that. I don't want to look at Reddit. Or I don't. Why is it all forums? Show me a legitimate news site. Here we go. Fan backlash. A video I shared on your Instagram story. Just reading. Oh yeah, so they're advertising Raw next week. So Dom's right. It does look like they're not. They're just going to talk about it here, but apparently the Wyatt Sicks. Yeah, so there doesn't seem to be. I'll just quickly the Tiffany Stratton thing. There doesn't seem to be confirmation that she said it. It's that somebody thought she might have said it. So we need to be very, very clear about that comment there, that might not necessarily be true. It's not factual. So we need to just be really careful with that. It's something that somebody thought they heard, but according to WWE and to some various sources, it's not set in stone. So that's why she's on TV. Because if she had said that, that's an instant firing. Sorry, it just is. But yeah, it looks like we're not getting anything Uncle Howdy related. I think that final ad was basically saying tune into Raw. See, that really ruins it for me. That makes it feel like just, I don't know, a bit Vince McMahon-y. So they're a cult who are happy to attack people. But they respect the brand split. That's just lame. That's just completely lame. Yeah, but the issue is there's no confirmation it was her who said it. Like, she's not come out and said, "Look, guys, sorry, I said that," or anything like that. So it seems to me that until that's a verified fact that she said that, we really shouldn't say it like it is what I'm trying to say. SpongeBob fan says, "Hi, you ever seen South Park?" All the time, SpongeBob. I'm never away from it. I got this new app on my phone that amplifies sound, so you can hear your background lol. I'll turn it off. Now I was listening to music while doing yard work. Here we go. 12 minutes of SmackDown left, and I'm fairly sure we're not getting anything now, which is a missed opportunity at all. That I completely like. If you're the Wyatt family, why are you the Wyatt Sicks? Why are you specifically mad at Raw and not like SmackDown? Oh, I'm not being funny, observing. I don't know if I can handle another 5 minutes of SmackDown tonight. My eyes are going. See, that's enough. If they just do something small like that, if they just do something, I don't necessarily need to see the Wyatt Sicks. What I want is for them to make their presence felt on SmackDown. I don't mind if Raw is where they do the majority of it in the heavy lifting, but I want them to just, like, you can't pretend to kill off a load of people and then just go back to business as usual a couple of days later. That's just ridiculous. Like, they can't mess it up this early on. And as far as I'm concerned, that's messing it up. So I've got so much goodwill to give this Wyatt Sicks stuff. Please don't squander it in week 1, WWE. Oh yeah. Oh, I know. I'm struggling, mate. I'm struggling. No day off this week. It's like, it's my fault for taking on so much. Why aren't we having a match? Why is Solo still in the back? Yeah, that's a very good question. I think it's more important for him to threaten Heyman than it is for him to actually do this match. See, 10 minutes to go. I don't even think we're getting a proper match. I think something's going down here. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so that's it. So she hasn't said it, but yeah, she was still in hot water for sharing the clip. She might not have known, but if it was somebody in the audience, then I hope. What is wrong with people? Oh, they're building story. This main event isn't the main event. Yeah, I was gonna say they got 10 minutes to go. Like, is this going to be a proper match, or is this going to be furthering an angle? I feel like these two have got to this point quite quick. You know. Come on, lights go out. Let's load of creepy guys. Because imagine, like, to be fair, if the Wyatt Sicks were to strike now, attack the Bloodline and Cody, battle lines are drawn. Yeah, they don't have time for a proper match, so something's going down. Like, you've got to think that, haven't you? At this point, this is why I've not gone to bed, because I'm fascinated to see how this plays out. But I'm either going to go to bed disappointed or buzzing. Let's see which one it's going to be. That was my thoughts exactly. This is a future pay-per-view match. Why is it now? Or is Solo at that level yet? I know they want him to be, but is he? Both moving brilliantly. They're doing it at SummerSlam. Yeah, well, that's what I thought. Although personally, I kind of think Roman should be back at SummerSlam and should have one more crack. I know you've heard me fantasy book this before, but I am of the view Roman and Cody should have one more go at SummerSlam in a cage, no interference from anyone, rubber match. Cody wins it, completely clean, beats Roman. He's the better man. And then Roman goes, I acknowledge you, Cody Rhodes. And then we move on to this bloodline story. Bloodline Civil War or whatever. Well, that's interesting. I'm not going to lie, Hassan. I've already closed the page, so I won't be doing another vote. So it's going to have to be one on here. Also, we're not all convinced this is going to be a proper match. Although so far, observing, they've got us. All Elite satire. I just can't wait until Roman returns. Yeah, it's going to be great. It's got to be done the right way, though. I genuinely think he and Cody deserve a rubber match. Oh. It's a bloodline beatdown. Haven't seen one of them before. Solo said to Heyman that Roman isn't coming back. Oh, well, that means he is. So surely someone's got to come and help Cody. Really? That's what they're going off air with? I mean, haven't we seen... I feel like we've seen this. Either Roman will return, Solo drunk off power, Solo's new lackeys are going to start losing respect for Solo. Yeah. One sec, guys. I'm a mess tonight, guys. I'm a mess tonight. I do apologise. It's Jacob for 2 is the big reveal this evening. So you're right. It wasn't over. But yeah, it was. This is why Hassan, I didn't do a thing. It was never going to be a proper match. This was a Jacob for... Like, it'd be overbooked if they did anything Wyatt Sicks related now. But it's ridiculous that they didn't. It's... I'm actually like... I'm hyped Jacob for 2. Oh, it didn't break. Oh, nasty. See, yeah, I'm hyped they finally brought Jacob for 2 in. Because we keep hearing about what they're bringing in Hikuleo. And there's rumours about Zilla for 2 as well. But I feel like they've kind of forgotten about Jacob, so it's nice that they've done this. This is building to a goddamn 3-on-3, yeah. Yeah, Jacob looks in crazy shape. Yeah, he's been in the gym non-stop, hasn't he? Like, look at him. He was a bit huskier when we last saw him, wasn't he? Look at him now. He's been putting in work. Solo's loving it. Like, this is great. This is absolutely great. But sorry, they've not done enough to acknowledge what happened on Raw. It feels too siloed off. Yeah, they're safer now. Yeah, we're not getting any Wyatt stuff now. Yeah, it's... I mean, I'm really excited about the Jacob for 2 stuff, but I feel like they've only just done the Wyatt stuff. And for that stable to have been a credible threat, they needed to do stuff on both brands. Even if they only primarily stayed on one. But the fact that they haven't means... See, if that was the story they're telling, great. But they could have told that a better way by maybe having them attack everybody, but then stop at the bloodline. It's something like that. So I don't think it's that. It's the fact that, like, SmackDown and Raw are the same company with the same people working there. Yes, they've got different wrestlers on different brands, but they do both cross over to each. So I feel like that's a real misstep. And it's a misstep that's come very early in the thing. So I'm giving that SmackDown a what do we normally give it? Out of 10, I'm giving that a 3 out of 10. Honestly, I'm a bit disappointed if I'm being honest. Like, they had a golden opportunity and they wasted it on doing weekly TV. You know, yeah, fair enough. It is what it is. But anyway, guys, yeah, look, I'm going to get to bed because I think you can see I'm flagging. I think we'll see you. I don't know if Dom's probably going to do a catch-up video, the Howdy stuff. But after that, the next time I think you'll see us is Dan will be back for Monday Night Raw. So let's see who's going to play us out. We had Raven play us in, didn't we? So who's going to play us out? Who's it going to be? This person.
Hello, this is Shotzi Blackheart, and welcome to Gimme A Hull Yeah! I hope everyone checking this out in Yorkshire and beyond is having a great day.